This is a bonus mini episode. We are going to be getting an inside student perspective from some brass players. So I hope you enjoy this episode. Really excited about this because we're going to get the inside scoop, I think, right?
I think so too.
Totally different perspective. So, all right.
So we have two students with us here, and they're going to tell us their names and their instruments that they play. And I think if you have a leadership position in the band, you should tell us about that too.
Hi, my name is Emma Regalado. I'm a mellophone player. I'm the mellow section leader. I'm also the feature twirler. I'm also on the officer team as VP of events.
Oh my goodness. I don't see how she has time to do everything, but this is super exciting. Well, welcome. Thanks for joining us today.
My name is Boss Thomas. I play the trombone and bass trombone, and I'm one of the trombone section leaders.
Fantastic. Thanks for joining us.
And you're a soloist.
And I'm the soloist, yes.
Ah, yes. Very good. Okay, before we begin, I'm sorry, I just have to ask you, what do you think about, what if you, like, one day came out of a prop that was like a giant cake, and you came out of the middle of it, and then you had a solo? What would you think of that? Would that be, like, the best thing ever?
I don't know. It would be kind of cool, but it wouldn't really fit with the theme of the show. So.
Well, not this show.
A different
It
show.
would have to be
A
a
show.
different show.
Maybe one day, yeah.
Okay.
It would be a
good.
show that was designed around the cake.
Yes. Our next question is, let's see if you can cast your memory back to Instrument Selection Day. So that's been a few years ago, right? Why did you choose the instrument you chose? And were you scared or concerned about just committing to that instrument?
I chose the trombone back in like 5th grade, whenever it was, because the guy like running the trombone tryouts, he really wanted me to do it, and I hated it. So that wasn't great. I really wanted to do percussion, actually, so I was like really adamant about that, and I tried to ace the audition, and it didn't go so well. So I actually really didn't like trombone when I first started, and I kind of just grew into it over time.
So they were still able to convince you to play the trombone, and then you grew to love it, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Okay. What about you?
Well, my instrument selection was a lot of a different process because I actually joined band my 7th grade year.
Okay.
So I picked my instrument at the end of my 6th grade year, which was when COVID hit. So mine was more of an email giving different options as a possibility, and my final two were flute or French horn. It was actually funny. My dad played French horn in middle school. My mom played flute. So it was really a battle between the house and which one I was going to choose.
And so what happened when you did choose?
My dad was pretty excited that I was going to do French horn because he thought it was so cool, and he wished he continued. So he was excited that I was going to do it.
And your mom?
She was kind of okay. She was okay with it. I mean, of course, I think she would have loved for me to do flute, but she was okay with it.
Well, that's really cool. What a great story. I love that.
In Eanes, in the 6th grade, you have to do a fine art. And you both chose band. Is there a reason that you chose band over choir or orchestra?
Well, so since I started my 7th grade year, I actually did a different fine art my 6th grade year. I started in choir, so I did choir as 6th grade, and then my 7th grade year, I decided I wanted to try band. So I joined band, but I also continued with choir, and I did that my 7th grade year as well, so I was in 2 different fine arts. I loved them both, but then at the end of my 7th grade year, I did have to pick one because doing both was a lot, and I ultimately decided that I enjoyed band more. But I did do choir at one point. So I do still love both of them. I still love to sing and stuff. But ultimately, my love for band was just stronger in playing my instrument.
Okay. What about you?
Well, my sister, who's 2 years older than me, she did orchestra for 2 years before I was ever in middle school. And I kind of thought it would be cool to choose band because I knew eventually like bands and orchestra like played together at like higher levels, and I thought it would be really cool if I could play with her one day. So
based on what you just said, have you played with your sister?
I have not, sadly.
Not yet. So goals.
She was, there were a couple of times I could have, like my sophomore year, Nutcracker, I tried to sign up for it, but I couldn't do it. And then full orchestra also my sophomore year. If I had been in the top orchestra, I could have played with her, but I didn't make it. So.
Well, I'm sorry you didn't make it, but you have a lifetime to play with her. So
I do,
good.
yes.
You've got lots of time. Okay.
I've never played anything with my brother.
Really?
No.
Did you know that my dad had all these like old big band like orchestrations, and so we used to get together like as a family, then with my brothers,
Yes, I
like
did
other
know
music
that.
friends and stuff. So I've played with my brother a few times.
Yeah, my brother's a bass player. Never once played with him.
Huh, interesting. I also now want to know, again, memories here. If you could tell us about your first day as a freshman in summer band camp and learning to march, what was that like? What do you remember about that?
I remember the first day was really hard, not used to being outside in the Texas heat for hours. And I remember I was trying my best, and section leaders were still like giving me like a million critiques every time I did anything. And I felt like kind of hopeless, like how am I even supposed to do this in marching season? Like, this is so hard. But eventually I got the hang of it.
So what made you come back the next day after, like, because I can understand, like, where they're like, oh my gosh, you need to fix this, or you need to do that, or it's like this, and you felt hopeless. So what made you come back?
Every time I complained, a lot of the upperclassmen were saying, like, it's worth it, don't quit, like, the season's really fun, stuff like that. So I kind of just felt encouraged, like, I want to see what they're talking about, like, what's worth it, like, I might as well continue this 1 year to see what it's all about.
Okay. And what was worth it?
I think all the competitions and performing in front of, like, groups of people and, like, them standing up and clapping and just honestly just, like, performing and playing and everything.
Awesome. Thank you.
On the instrument that you didn't like.
I know, right?
Well, I remember my first day at actually spring preview camp. So our 8th grade year when we all came out and did music with the high schoolers. And I remember my friends were all quitting. And so I didn't know very many people going into it. And I was so scared, so nervous. But the minute I got there, I remember people running up to me, screaming at me, asking me what section I was, like jumping up and down and running me to a group of people I had never met before. And just being like, wow, this energy is insane. And I had such a good 2 days filled of learning different music with people and meeting new people. And I made a lot of new connection with different high schoolers. And so then when band camp rolled around, I was excited for the social aspect, but very scared for the outdoor because that Texas heat was no joke. They were like, you need a breakfast, you need this. And they were not kidding. I remember my first day being scared I was going to pass out because upperclassmen had told us stories of freshmen passing out before. And so I was so scared. But I also remember just getting critique after critique and just being like, wow, this is really draining coming home my first day. But also, same thing, I think the section leaders were very just like, it's rewarding and you will learn to love it and you will have fun.
What have you found rewarding so far?
I feel like a lot of the experiences, we've done so many things that are so unique to not a lot of other programs have. Competitions are such a cool aspect because they're filled with social aspects, having fun with your friends while also being serious and warming up and then also competing and getting to perform for a crowd. So I think just every aspect of it is such interesting and unique and it's so fun.
Okay, I'm going to ask one more question before we go on to the next set of questions that we have. You mentioned being a twirler, so I'm wondering when in kind of your whole kind of experience did you decide you wanted to be a twirler, or was that something you'd learned earlier on and had been practicing, or kind of how did that come into the picture?
So I started twirling when I was 8 years old.
Okay.
So I started twirling at a studio. I twirled recreationally for a year, and then I started competitively twirling with a team. And from there, it just kept going, and I kept competing. And when I got to middle school, actually, when I joined band and I started doing that, we actually reached out to the middle school director, Ms. Hames, and talked about if she'd be interested in having a twirler, because we did perform at a football game and did a pep rally. And she was so open to the idea. She let me perform at the game. I performed a big number at the pep rally in front of the whole school, and it was really cool. And then similarly, when I came to the high school, I emailed Mr. Taylor, set up a little meeting with him, and then I did a performance for him, kind of showing him what I could do. And he accepted me as the twirler on the spot.
Well, congratulations. That's exciting.
Thank you.
Okay.
Do you twirl, boss?
I do not.
Me neither. First performances. You just had your first performance this last weekend as a senior. Do you remember your first performance as a freshman? The Friday night performance, the first contest performance, the pressure, the nerves. Do you remember any of that?
I remember the first Friday Night Lights, just walking up to the stadium. I think it was a home game, if I remember correct. Or no, it was an away
really?
game.
I thought it was a home game.
No, it was an away game. I remember because we were on the bus, and it was the first time on a freshman bus. And it was chaotic, to say the least. And I remember like screaming, and everyone was just very chaotic. But I remember being so nervous. I was like, because I had to twirl and do mellow, which is something I'd never done before in one night. And I had to do a quick change where I come off, quickly throw my baton on the side and grab the mellow and run right back on the field. So I was nervous for both aspects because also during warm-up, I had to focus time for twirling and playing and just also be worried about the show, but also be worried about my twirling routine. And it was just a lot going on in my brain. But I remember after like performing, like just like the upperclassmen had said, it was such a rewarding experience. I immediately just felt like relieved and felt like, oh my God, we just did that. Like I just went out and performed like half of our show. That's insane as a freshman. And then I remember our first competition, I was also just so nervous and not sure what to expect. But I remember the minute we got off the buses and walked to section circles, and the upperclassmen were just giving such giving advice, hyping us up, and telling us like how prepared we were. And I just felt at that moment like I was ready and I could handle it. And then we went into warm up, all focused, and we went out and we performed. And I just felt so good and so relieved. And they were right; it was very fulfilling. It was a fulfilling moment.
Okay, what do you remember?
I don't remember too much about the first bowl game, I'll be honest. I think it was kind of just all like a blur to me. Like, we'd rehearsed so much, and then it was finally the first time we were, going out and performing anything. But I do remember a lot about the first competition. That was really cool. Like, I was super nervous coming off the bus and getting into section circles. And then eventually, by the time we got onto the field, actually, after all the warm-ups and everything, I felt reassured because my first dot was with the section leader and a senior, so like I was right next to like some really experienced people, so I kind of felt like I can just do it just like them, and I think my first performance went pretty well.
Great. Okay. Now I want to know, why have you stayed in band?
Well, for me, I really like performing and of course playing my instrument. I really like doing that too. I think it's really cool to like play anything in front of one person or like 1,000 people and get their reactions, whether they love it or hate it, and improve on what I'm playing or what I'm going to play in the future.
All right. What about you?
I think it's a mix of the performing and also the social aspect. I really do enjoy performing, and after every like performance and everything, I always feel very excited and very fulfilled with how we like did. And then I really also just think performing in a marching band is so unique that so many other people don't get to do. It's not like orchestra and like choir, they perform to like an auditorium, but like in marching band, you're performing to a whole stadium full of people that are showing up just because they love what you're doing and they're all here to support just band in general. And it's not just like your family members, it's also different other families who just love band or other like band fanatics.
People like me. People like you.
Exactly.
Yeah, just like me.
And just people who love the like art and the sport of marching band. So I think that's just such a unique experience. And then of course I love the social aspect. I love how close the band gets because it really is like a family. I remember the upperclassmen telling me the first day I walked in, it's like a family, and they really weren't kidding. All the people around me in my section are like some of my closest friends. I've met a lot of my closest friends due to the program, and it's just where like it's a safe place where you can always come, like the band hall. You can come at any time you want. You can always find someone that you want to talk to, and it's just a very big community.
Okay. Is there anything you want to add to that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, great.
How has band been a positive influence? Because a lot of people think, oh, band takes so much time, it does this, but how has it positively influenced your high school experience?
So it definitely does take a lot of time, I can't lie. It's a lot of hours and a lot of work, but that also itself is rewarding. Getting to see the final product and seeing all the hours you're putting in paying off at competitions, not just in necessarily like score results, but just how you feel personally, that's always rewarding. And then it's also a big positive, like I said, in the community aspect. You really, like, without band, I don't know, like, where I would be in social circles or the way it would work, because most of my social circle is revolved around band. A lot of things I do and consider when I'm doing things goes back to band, in a sense. Like, everything kind of goes back to band and what I'm doing, and I think it's been a main thing is just the social aspect and all the friends I've made along the way.
I think my band experience has helped me with like a lot of stuff, like, persevering through, struggling through a long rehearsal after a long week, or, performing in front of people even if I'm super nervous about something I'm about to do. Like, last year, I remember the first time I was in like a brass ensemble in the front of the field, and I felt super nervous about, being mic'd and playing with a group of people. But I think I did all right. So that, and also, like Emma said, the social aspect is really cool. Like I have a lot of friends in band and all different grades, and it's cool like meeting new people every year.
So, y'all are seniors. You're getting ready to leave the whole K-12 world and go off to college and do all these great things. Do you think that you will march in college, or would you ever march in DCI?
Yeah, I was hoping to try it for drum corps this year, but after looking at the auditions, I think I'll try again sometime later when I'm a little bit better, because I have to switch instruments, so I have to play a baritone ideally, and it's not super hard learning it, but getting really good at it or getting to like the level you would need to be performing at, I just don't have time for, because I'm also doing music in college and college apps and music auditions and all that. It's just a lot.
You're going to be a music major?
Yes.
That's awesome. Well, awesome. That's good. Love it. What about you?
I'm not currently planning to march in DCI. I am hoping and potentially auditioning to twirl in college for a marching band, so I will still be involved in the marching band aspect, just no longer with my mellophone or French horn. But I think I could still potentially always come back to playing horn if I ever choose to.
Are you looking at UT?
Not to twirl. I am applying to UT for just the program itself. But for UT, they have one twirler, and they do every 4 years. And so she was just selected this past season. But I do know her, and I love her. She's very talented. She's super sweet, and we are all super proud of her.
Okay, as seniors who've gone from freshman, sophomore, junior, and now you're in band leadership, what advice would you give an incoming freshman? You've probably already given the freshmen this year the advice, but incoming next year and anybody that might be listening in the future.
I always go back and say you kind of have to live in the moment, because the idea that I've now been here, this is my 4th year, is crazy, because it literally felt like I was a freshman 2 seconds ago. And so I think it's so important that they live in the moment, focus on what they're doing now, because they also have to be, it's so important to be present at rehearsal and being focused right then and there, and not thinking about what could happen a week from now or what could happen at the competition in 2 days. You have to be so focused at what's going on right then and there, because you can't control something for 2 days from now. You can control what's happening right then and there at that rehearsal. And then I also, like I said, it's important because time goes by so fast. So also appreciate all the little moments, even when it's tired and draining. Just appreciate them and live in that moment, because in a blink of an eye, it's going to be all gone, and you don't want to have any regrets back on the season of what could have been or what could have happened.
Thank you.
If I was talking to an incoming freshman, I'd say don't wish away the time that you have. Like, if today's Monday and I have rehearsal and another rehearsal and it kind of feels like a drag, you don't want to just think, I just want to make it until Saturday and we don't have any more rehearsals, because you'll think that, and all of a sudden marching season's over, and then the time kind of spirals, and like Emma said, all of a sudden you're just old. It's like that's it, what? So luckily I still have some of a season left. It's not all over, but. And then I would also tell someone, definitely practice. It's pretty important. Everyone's going to say it 100 times, but it really is important, and you should practice.
I love that advice. I'm going to play this for my harp students.
Did you know, Erin, that you're supposed to practice every day that you breathe?
Oh, I heard it every day you eat.
Oh, okay. Both of those work.
Yes.
So in the advice vein still, what would you tell an incoming freshman's parents who might be scared of the commitment of marching band and all that it takes?
Well, I'd tell them it's a lot for sure. Don't sell it short. As you're a freshman, you have to wake up super early, drive to the school every day in band camp, and then go home kind of late. It might get old, and it's a lot, but if it's done right, and hopefully the kid enjoys it and they really want to come back every time and keep going, and eventually they'll have some fun stories by the end of the year.
What do you think?
I'd honestly say to make sure you're just kind of, if they're nervous about it and worried, it definitely is a big commitment. It can be stressful sometimes, balancing school, balancing anything else you have going on outside of school. But at the end of the day, it is rewarding, and I think the kid will enjoy it. I mean, I hope they would enjoy it if they do it correctly. If they're going in with the positive mindset, then I think it will be such a good experience for them. It's also just a way for them to branch out, and it kind of makes the transition to high school a lot easier because we're back so much earlier. You're already forming those connections with your classmates and upperclassmen where you can get advice from. So like if you're scared about a class freshman year, well, there's sophomores and juniors who have already taken that class and can help you. It makes the transition a lot easier, and so it is very helpful and beneficial. And then I think the kid will love it and enjoy it. And so I think the parents just being supportive and being there, because it definitely can be a lot, I think is also super important.
All right.
I want to add advice to parents is to volunteer and get involved, because it's fun. It's fun and it's rewarding for parents. And I think that kids secretly or not secretly appreciate their parents coming and doing things.
I would also say, as a parent, it was really, really neat I still like to go to the competitions now, but it was neat knowing that my kiddo was on the field and doing all the amazing things that y'all do, It was just a neat feeling to know that he was part of that.
It's very proud parent moments.
It really is.
All right, going back to instrument selection day, you have a 5th grader coming in, and they are so scared. And it's overwhelming. Remember this instrument and that instrument. What would you tell them?
I'd probably say that it's all gonna work out in the end. Like, the way my instrument selection was so different than most people's. So it was a very trust the process, but it worked out, I think, in the most perfect way it could. I honestly couldn't imagine myself as a flute player now, or literally any other instrument. I think horn was the literally perfect instrument for me. It makes sense in my brain. And it all ends up working out. Just maybe not in the way you're expecting. And I mean, of course, there might be some bumps in the road, but at the end of the day, everything will work out in the right way.
I think you better have good advice, being that you didn't even want to play trombone.
Yeah, well, if I was telling a 5th grader, I think I'd say, like Emma said, it'll all work out. Even if you have no idea, right? You just play a bunch of different instrument mouthpieces and you don't know what's going on and it's super confusing, There'll hopefully be someone to help guide you through it, and explain a little bit of something if you're super confused and try to help you, like, this is the one you might want to play because of this or something like that. And if it's done right, then hopefully by the time they're in high school or middle school, they'll hopefully, play their instrument a lot and really like it and can't really imagine themselves playing anything else or doing anything else with their time.
It is amazing how that works out.
It is, right?
Evan was like, I want to play percussion. But he loves trumpet, and he's such a trumpet player.
Yeah.
He fits the trumpet vibe.
Exactly.
There's a vibe to every instrument. You pick it up.
Can you imagine him in percussion?
No.
Her husband, Tanya's husband, plays trumpet, and he helped guide him to the trumpet.
Well, I just will say there are stereotypes for each instrument, and most of them are pretty true for most people.
That's one of the ways it works out. That's true across orchestra, band, all of it.
And it kind of helps you find people that are similar to you.
It does.
All right, so I want to know, when y'all are on these super long band trips, right, going to all the different places that you go to, what do you do to entertain yourself on the trip, on the bus?
On a bus, oh man. Okay.
5 hours.
Well, a super long bus ride like that, we usually strike up some fun conversations, or someone has, some video game they're playing. That's usually on the way there, or we just listen to music, we look out the window, usual stuff. On the way back, it's always like there's always people like trying to sleep, and then there's like a goon squad, and then there's like
Wait, what is a goon squad?
There's just like a bunch of kids in the back, being really loud, and like when they leave the bus, there's always a big mess around them, stuff like that. And then
Okay.
usually there's like 6 or 7 people, in the middle of that group, kind of just like minding their own business. Maybe they're talking or whatever, but they're not being too loud or anything like that. It's kind of like I feel like on every bus there's the same sort of archetype, like going back, but going there it's all totally different things going on.
Yeah, on the way there, I feel like a lot of people often have like headphones on and everyone's just kind of minding their own business. Or like you'll have conversations with your friends. I know I always like to talk to my friends. I also normally be listening to music. Sometimes I'm doing schoolwork if I have a lot of it that I'm missing, especially like on a 5-hour one. That means we got out of school pretty early that day and I have a lot of work to do. And then, I mean, also I know recently there's been a lot of Among Us playing. It's been coming back.
Oh, okay.
So I've been playing with my friends. I know personally we've been playing some Among Us games, passing the time. And then, like you said, there's other video games. So like normally someone has a Switch, so maybe some Mario Kart will be going on, some Smash Bros, something. And then on the way back, it's like late. I know I'm normally trying to sleep or at least putting AirPods in and being quiet. But he's definitely right. There's always a group in the back of the bus that is a lot louder than other people, maybe doing some activities that are louder or standing up when they shouldn't be and getting in trouble. And he's definitely right about the mess part because as section leaders, we do have to stay behind and clean up those messes.
Oh, you do?
So that is one of our jobs.
The people
and so,
that make the mess don't have to clean it up.
well, they're
themselves?
supposed to, but anything that gets left is a section leader job. We stay on the
okay.
bus and double check that they are clean so that way our parents don't have to do it and the bus drivers don't have to do
Got it.
So I can definitely attest to sometimes there's some big messes back there.
It's not too bad usually, but at least I did it last year and this year, and sometimes there's some pretty bad messes, but if it's like really bad, like someone else will come and clean it up.
Got it. I do have a question about like what bus you're on. Are y'all on your buses? Are you grouped by section or are you grouped by year, like senior, junior, freshman, sophomore?
So we are now grouped by section. This is a new thing that Turpin instated when he came.
Okay.
So it is section buses, but it is groups of sections. So it's like 2 to 3 sections on a bus. So I know I'm on the mellow, baritone, and trombone bus. So me and Boss are actually on the same bus. But then it's like guard and tubas. I think it's percussion and low reeds, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say altos and flute. And then clarinet and trumpets. I think those are all the buses this year. But before that, we did have grade buses. And they're not officially grade buses. They're actually, we sign up for buses. But most people stick to the grade bus. And it's like 1 is senior bus, 2 is junior bus, 3 is sophomore bus, and 4 is freshman bus. And so those actually do come back during playoff season. We will be allowed to sign up for buses and pick those again. So like on our 6-hour game, when we went to San Benito, that was a choose your bus because there was only 2 of them. So that was, you got to pick and you got to sit with your friends.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I feel like there was a lot of drama when it changed.
Oh yeah, that when we first heard about it, that really sucked, and it was like I was trying to be a good section leader and not like complain to everybody, and like say like, oh, I don't want to do this. This is terrible. But like, I mean, I probably complained to like 1 or 2 people. I mean, it was definitely a big change because I was finally excited to be like on an upperclassman bus and I wanted to know what that was like. And then no, section buses. Like, okay.
Yeah, I don't even think it was the fact that it was section buses entirely. I think it was also just the idea that something was changing and people were just so used to getting to sit with their friends that there was so many like, not like traditions I would say, but kind of norms on the buses. And so all of that was kind of switching. And I know last year seniors were just upset because it was finally their year for senior bus. And that's just such a big thing because on the other buses, there are some more intermingling where like sometimes sophomores will go on junior bus, but senior bus was always primarily literally just seniors. And if you were not a senior on the senior bus, it was not a good thing. So, I mean, I know they were a little upset. And then I know our class was a little upset knowing that we weren't also going to get that to do senior bus. But we were excited when he compromised and gave us playoff games.
Good. I'm glad you have that compromise so you can still feel what it's like, right? This senior year. So awesome.
Okay, I'm going to ask this question.
Go ahead.
What is your favorite band meal?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm going to have to say, this might be controversial, but the one time or maybe 2 times where we got Chewies,
Chewy.
that was really nice because I think a lot of times I have, at least when COVID was happening, we had Chewies, like my dad would drive to Chewies and bring Chewies to our house, and it was always really fun on the weekends for like, I don't know however many years COVID was. So it kind of was like, felt like I was just at my house again, you know, on like a Saturday night or whatever. So.
Yeah, I do think that is a little bit of a hot take, but I respect it. For me, I'm a very picky eater, so there's not a lot of band meals that I necessarily love. I do think Chick-fil-A is always a good one. I know we haven't gone in as much because now we do a lot more Eaton's catering food, but we did do it, I think, the other day. Yeah, we did it the other day at an away game, but...
Okay, Miss Erin is laughing, and I'm not sure why she's laughing.
Did you hear that about the Eames catering from
Yeah, that was also a big change. What was that? That was going in junior year, right?
That was last year.
Last year,
Yeah.
we just kind of switched. Yeah, I don't mind all the Eaton's catering food. I think some of it is good, and some of it I think I actually like better than some of the old food. But that's also just because I am a picky eater. So like a few weeks ago, we had or last week for our first home game, we had chicken strips, and that was a good meal for me because I'm a picky eater, so I love chicken strips.
Okay, I thought they were really good.
I thought they
Yeah,
were really yummy actually,
was
and the
pretty
dessert
good,
was
yeah.
really good too.
And their orange chicken is quite
Yes,
fantastic.
their orange chicken actually is really good.
So shout out to the Eanes Catering Department. We appreciate you.
And they're so fun to work with. I love getting to serve the food. I don't choose any of it, but I get to serve it and I have fun.
I will say, when I got to serve was a few weeks ago, right, with you, I was very impressed. Everyone had such nice manners, like just being very thankful for whatever it was that they got.
Yeah, I think it's probably grown. I don't know if it's always been that way, but I think it's also we're just so hungry and so grateful for any food anyone will give us at that point normally, because it's normally after a long bus ride or after a long day. Like I know dinner, everyone's like, oh, food. Like definitely this last weekend, everyone was like, oh my God, food, because it was like 9 or 10 p.m. and we still hadn't eaten food yet.
Oh no.
And then you got cold Dairy Queen.
Yeah,
It was bad.
I don't know what everyone complains about. I actually really like getting Dairy Queen. Every year we go to BOA Austin, we get Dairy Queen. I'm like, yes, finally.
But it would have been better had it not come at 8 o'clock and you guys ate at 9:45.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Other than that, it was fine. By the time I had one, it was 11:15. It was very cold.
Yeah, I think at that point everyone was just happy we finally got food and substance in our body.
Okay. So we have come to the end of the questions that we had for you. We're wondering if maybe there's anything that you want to add and potentially something you want to say to your own parents.
Yeah, shout out Mom and Dad. I hope you're listening to this. Mom, you should practice your piano.
I'm just very grateful for everything my parents have done for me. So thanks, Mom and Dad. They're also Chat Band parents, presidents, co-presidents. So they do a lot of work and behind the scenes constantly. They're constantly on meetings, running meetings. They're doing stuff with they're actually doing stuff tonight for the new superintendent and the scouting for that. So they're always so busy with band parent life on top of having full-time jobs and owning businesses. So I'm so grateful for all that they do for me and all that they do for this band program.
All right. So listeners, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of our podcast. If there was some other question you want to hear answers from our band leadership, you can email us at fansoftheband.whs@yahoo.com.